we're going to be checking out Sinew, Shadow, and Salsa, The Awakening of Sybil Ironwood from Norfolk the Wizard, getting part of the Hunter the Parenting Universe by Bruva Alphabusa, narrated, or I guess DM'd by Speaker D, which is amazing, and considering we just got through hand plates, I need right now. So we're going to do that. A Hunter the Parenting Verse actual play. A Mage the Ascension Chronicle by Ogre Papanang. I want to say Papanang, but apparently it's known. Bright flashing lights. Ooh, fancy. Oh, we're going another intro with a song from the previous one. Join Station 6 Ashley. Oh. I remember that person. Horodoshi as Sybil Inswood. Arendelle as Samson Tuttle. These are probably some of the characters I haven't met yet. Parker Knickerbocker? One of the later characters, I think. Speaker D as the storyteller? Yeah, god level DM on that one. Oh. Heading out, Huron? It's dropping in. It's a kaleidoscope effect, but I do like how this looks. It's really screwed up. I think it's all the character images they have. Good music, though. Really freaky. Fits the overall tone. I wonder who's who, though. I don't really know which of the characters are who yet. For some reason, I feel it should blow up right now. I'm just used to all the explosions everywhere. Norfolk Wizard Club. This might be a weird thing to say, but that little couple notes in there, I almost wonder if that's an homage to the beginning of Mary Poppins when Bert is singing. I think I believed that last time around, but I never said anything because I wasn't sure. But now I'm hearing it again. Just those few little notes when you're talking about the inherent magic of the situation. I wonder if that's exactly what they're referencing with that song, or if it just happens to be in a song they picked for this. I don't know. But I would be honestly fascinated to find out more about how they designed the overall world. But again, asking would be spoilers in many ways, so probably not going to happen. Snow?
What is it to be awakened? Oh. To be a so-called mage? Simple. It's to understand why exactly an airplane flies.
The
What's
world
that?
Works because you think
You
it
have
does.
no idea what I'm talking about? Let me ask you then, why does an airplane fly? Is it because of their turbine engines, their aerodynamic design? Perhaps the competency of the pilot, co-pilot, support staff, or engineers? I'm sure the usual answer is some mixture of all three, you plane-hating psychopath.
Wait, does that mean Sybil Inswood is going to be on the Technocracy side? Ooh. It seems like we're leading more into that.
That might even be true. But it's not here. You see, in Mage the Ascension, planes fly for the same reasons dirigibles fly. The same reason birds fly. It's simple, really. Planes fly because we figure they ought to.
Oh.
The engines help, of course. The design, the crew, the engineer. But unless you're familiar with the mechanics of aeroscience, you probably couldn't tell me exactly, really, why it is that airplanes fly, can you? You can say science, engineering.
What he's describing for planes is actually not the easiest one, because you can do an easy one, just like put your hand outside and feel as the air pushes against you and you have an incline, which is basically the premise of getting lift through wings being pulled forward. But now if you said something like a computer, the vast majority of people out there was like, okay, how would you make a computer? Build a microchip. Explain that. Some people could, but the vast majority be like, nope. I'm definitely one of them.
Hearing physics. But most say them without intimate comprehension. That's because the airplane flies not thanks to the turbine engine or the canny pilot. It flies because there are rules. Rituals we follow for consistent results. The laws of physics.
This is only something I'm thinking about now because I just did the Burger Creek video about the Technocracy, and he went into a lot of detail about consensus. But the way he's talking about, I know sleepers are supposed to be all the humans who aren't awakened to being made just to actively manipulate things. But right now, Speaker D is talking about how everyone believing it, acting in a certain way. It almost sounds like it's less consensus and more the act of doing anything and believing a thing will happen in mass, and all the rituals, which is what it would be, is just that, a ritual. It's not a flight checklist, it's a magic spell. At that point, sleepers seem to be almost like mages who just are unaware they're mages, as opposed to someone who hasn't unlocked magic yet. It's like they're already doing the magic, but unconsciously. It's not even consensus. It seems like the difference between a mage and a sleeper is less are you doing magic and more are you doing the same spell everyone else is in the area, or are you doing your own thing?
To us,
maybe that's just how they're interpreting it, though.
Perfectly acceptable natural forces. We follow rites to harness their power, to bend them to our will and make our dreams manifest. That is science. That is technology, pharmacology, psychology, aeroscience. In another word, magic. To be a mage is not necessarily to know these things. Rather, it's to know a different truth entirely. To have a different answer as to why airplanes fly.
Which will also
and through application of principles either mundane or extraordinary, make the impossible possible.
But where's the giant drill for that one?
A wizard conjures a flying broomstick from raw quintessential patterns. They speak a phrase of commands in Enochian, and so their broomstick flies. Mad scientists harness impossible materials, disproven theories through which unfathomable wonders might be accomplished. They laugh, so simple. Merely charge the titanium chassis with their ether-powered photonic ray and watch as their wondercraft flies weightlessly.
He literally just said technobabble means A equals B. Because I said C. Oh god, it literally is weaponized technobabble.
A priest prays, a monk meditates, and through their truths, uninhibited by the restriction of consensual reality, the means to fulfill any dream is realized. Though
fireflies coming out the light?
Not without
That's
a cost.
Cool effect. Or are they moths?
Why does an airplane fly?
Oh.
Every mage has a different answer.
Okay, this is so cool. Now that we the snowflakes coming out. I wonder if there's a train heading at the character you're getting the view from.
Let the game begin.
Is that a plane sound effect in the background? What the?
Sybil.
Oh!
You find yourself walking down familiar, curdled streets.
That's an odd choice.
Asphalt drapes forward in an endless drudgery. Midnight skies tinted with strange colors, and buildings that seem half alive.
What?
Surround you.
That doesn't sound like
This
Earth.
endless stretch of urban decay feels almost as if it breathes
Oh, never mind. It sounds like Detroit.
under your footsteps. And where in this enormous city would Sybil imagine herself to be?
Sybil would probably imagine herself on a park bench.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I saw that character. I thought they were just a pretty boy. Did not realize they were female. Oh well. Also, I'm just gonna say this. I have no idea how to say their name right for their player. I'm going to mispronounce it when I eventually say it. It'll happen.
Overlooking the urban sprawl. A bench made of twisted bone and twined intestine that bows comfortably.
Okay, never mind. I thought he was being descriptive and just like going with metaphor on this place looking kind of fucked up. No, apparently it is actually made of flesh. We are going full SCP on this thing. Neat.
Underneath her weight, overlooking the city as it lives and breathes in front of her.
And so it is in this park where Sinew lines the trees and porous vapors begin echoing out from organic sewer grates. This place where flesh is steel and steel is flesh. Is it lonely here?
Most
If you're
of the
lucky,
time.
yes.
There are residents, allegedly. Lights and windows.
Oh, is this part of
but
the Umbra?
Not often that anybody comes out to talk.
Indeed. And so it is that you're here again. On your solitary bench in your solitary park.
Sinew
In
and
your
Shadow and Salsa,
solitary
yeah.
city of living flesh.
But wait, they haven't awakened yet, so they're in a weird place where the rules of the world aren't as established. Oh.
You sit and you ponder the skylights. You sit
Or are they
and
just crazy?
ponder the organs masquerading as buildings. And you sit alone. Until very suddenly, yet so achingly, gradually, the shadows begin to coalesce over a vibrant lake of bile. Something is coming through the mists.
Okay, I'm just going to say it right now. I was hoping this would be like one of those Speaker D being an amazing descriptive DM, and it'd be awesome after the emotional trauma handplates. And then we get this. I'm like, oh wow, it's an amazing example of Speaker D being an amazing descriptive DM for a flesh city and bile clouds and all the sinew and okay, yeah, sure. Ooh, it's a good thing I don't have a really hair trigger reflex to throw up out of fear. That's a really good thing right now.
I'm gonna look around, kind of look over each shoulder as if checking to see if it's going for someone else. And I'm just going to keep an eye on whatever's emerging from the
The
mist.
shadows mount across this lake. They coalesce into a form almost reminiscent of a person. This draped over black cloaked figure. It appears almost to be wearing a jacket, but it isn't, because it isn't anything. Black, and one white eye peers through the rising mists. A suggestion of a hand beckons you closer.
Gonna look around, point to myself, and go, me?
Well, there's no one else around in this empty park, so you're left to assume yes.
Oh, shit. Alright. Gonna push myself up from the bench and walk a little closer to this thing.
Oh god, the squish sound effects. You know, I was holding together pretty well, then I just heard the squish with the footsteps and the walk and the ah. I'm really glad she didn't say anything about how when she pushed herself up, her like hand just sunk into the bit of the flesh coating the bone bench and to quote Hobbit in the chat, it's a good thing I didn't eat, am I right? Yeah, because even though earlier everyone was talking about awesome food in every video we saw on the stream, right now, if we had done that, I would probably already have a barf bag up here.
Kind of hands in my pockets, the posture kind of stooped and a little slumped.
You make your way through the turgid red lawn and the breathing fleshen ground. You step by step approach the lake, and as you do, the shadows become more and more pronounced, the figure more and more bold, until at last you reach the lip of the lake of bile. But as you step one last time, the ground gives way underneath you. You feel your balance begin to fade, as if you're stepping on pure gelatinous goop.
I'm gonna try to quickly pull myself out of it, try and find something solid. It's not quicksand, but I'm sure it's something visceral.
You struggle against the mounting syrupy, disgusting gore that
I'm going to say something I never expected. Speaker D, stop being good at your job. You know me, I like it when my ground tastes like rare steak. Human flavor's my favorite. I love me some long pork. Oh, God.
mounts at your feet. You reach out for anything you can, a plant made of lungs, or perhaps a floral banquet of intestines from some one.
I'm just going to say this now because I don't want to think about it ever again. Please, for the love of God, no one show me any fan art from this section. Please, dear God, please don't. I'm sure there's probably someone out there who's like, wow, that'd be really fucked up. I want to draw it. Please don't. I do not want to see fan art of this. This is, I don't. Oh. I'm just going to avoid my Discord for a bit after this.
Anything, and all you find is the lip of the lake.
Probably an actual lip, too.
Pull yourself over it. Look over the lip as forces begin dragging you down.
Are there
and that
teeth on
shadowy
there?
figure stares right at you.
Just squelching sounds.
It doesn't say a thing. And as you look down at that pool of bile, you see shapes in the murk. You see reflections.
Don't you dare say faces. Don't you dare say faces, speaker. Oh, you son of a...
In the dark, you see in its waves something coming. Something fierce, something dark, something all-encompassing. But before you can fully realize what it is,
please wake up.
A hacky sack hits you in the face and you wake up.
Fuck you, speaker. It's like, why are you trying to outdo Netrix with just word alone? I'm not even sure you can see it, but I got freaking goosebumps, man. Good on them, because Speaker D, just, if this is pre-written, he's a great writer, which we already knew because he's one of the writers for the channel. But if this is ad-libbed on his case and he has an idea what he's going to get to... Thomas, I do not recognize the bodies in the water. Seriously, man. I can feel the pit in my stomach, which is just trying to remind me that I'm both hungry and not hungry at the same time, for very much completely due to this stream reasons.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna grab at the hacky sack.
Waking up on a normal couch not made of flesh, in a brick-clad room that is certainly not alive and certainly not breathing, a masked face with no shirt on.
What?
But quite a presumptive cape nearby the billiards table looks at you bashfully.
What?
Pablo is sorry that this came to you. Pablo did not mean for the hacky sack to reach you in your slumber.
They have a guy in a luchador mask named Pablo who refers to himself in the third person. Oh, dear God, the character's already getting crazier.
Pablo
What the
is
hell are
simply
we looking
trying to
at?
multitask.
You know what? No worries, Pablo. Is it another tits out kind of day? I kind of push myself up on the couch, swing
Yeah,
into
because
a
they're
sitting
shirtless.
position.
Every day is a tits out sort of day in my line of work. For none can dare attempt to ignore the handsome visage of Pablo the Mysterious.
Please tell me he's actually an accountant. That just make it funnier at this point.
Is it mysterious if you're showing off that much skin? Doesn't that eliminate some of the mystery? I mean, it's not a mystery how big
It's
your
all about the
boobies
face.
are. Anyway, what
curve of the
what
nose.
was the multitask? What are you
You
doing?
see, he gestures at the billiards table. I was attempting to play hacky sack with my legs, while I was also attempting to score a perfect game of billiards, and also finish the slam poem that Chaos Blackwell asked me to finish for the big show later on this week at the cafe.
Tell me you have extreme ADHD without telling me you have extreme ADHD. I don't mean Pablo. I mean whoever wrote that, Speaker D. Because, dear God, that is, okay, a lot of things to think about at once.
I'm gonna look at the billiards table. How does it look like his game is going?
Oh, it fucking looks terrible. It looks like he's made almost no progress at all. The balls are all just around in awkward places. It doesn't seem like he's really pocketed anything. The
Not as good as I am when I
notepad
try.
by him is just kind of scrawled and torn up a little bit. It doesn't seem like it's fully realized either. And the hacky sack,
Trying a little
of
everything and
course,
failing
it
regardless.
previously was in your face.
I'm gonna slowly nod at him. Looks like it sure is going.
Yeah, that's a
you
word.
Can't expect perfection to arrive without a bit of a failure
Pablo-esque.
in its wake.
Those are some words of wisdom. While I'm still incredibly fucking groggy. So, when's your deadline on this poem?
Oh, I don't know. It's sometime at the end of the week. Blackwell has all the details. It's at some cafe, but
I don't know why, but the name Blackwell seems familiar. And I do not know why, and it's actually bugging me. Because I feel like I'm missing a reference or a connection that is there, but if it is, I'm just pulling a complete and utter blank at this point.
your big show is far more interesting.
Their big show?
This could really put the dying dream on the map.
Oh, they're an entertaining group. It's probably a bunch of artists. Yeah, that would do it.
Fuck, that's the idea. Well, hopefully they'll like it more than last time, after the critics called it, oh god, what was it? Visceral and gross and smelling so terrible as to not be able to enjoy any of the work.
Oh, they're one of those artists. And Marty, you think I might be considering Blackwell, confused with Black Law? Yeah, that's probably it then.
You know, maybe that's the last time I use real pig guts, but
Oh, so that inner world they were looking at is probably because they're an artist who's focusing on flesh. Lovely.
you can't rush perfection. You can't judge perfection.
The people are not ready for the viscerality that you bring to them. They are not ready for the true experience of smell-o-vision in accord with their television, see?
Right? Exactly. Thank
They've had people still working on that. It is still a thing that is shown. There was a CES convention for technology, and someone brought CES specific, brand new, high-tech smell-o-vision for computer games. I hate everything about what I just said because you can look it up and it's real.
you, Pablo. Somebody fucking gets it.
Of course I understand you, Sybil.
Also, pig guts are too expensive to do that again.
Yes,
they kinda
yes. I don't think that I could get my father to lend you anymore. But I can tell you this.
Lend? That was a lend? What were they going to use them for when they got them back? You know what? I don't think I want the answer to this. It might be more disturbing than anything we have right now.
I can tell you that tonight I would love to be nowhere else but your show. And I'm very sorry that I cannot make it.
Also, I'm just going to point out right here, I love the specialties and weaknesses that they're super creepery is their specialty, and their weakness, super creepy. Yeah, pig guts everywhere. That would definitely do it. I swear.
Hey, you're not coming?
Character profiles are literally just
I want
insults.
to, but you see, there is a change in the booking, and they're going to let me go up against the Crimson Crippler tonight. So, you see, it's very important for my career that I don't.
Huh. Crimson Crippler with a mage character who's all about the visceral, bloody, organic nature of the reality. I'm sure this is fine. It's not like we have an established pattern of all friends dying or something.
No show and bombard my chances of becoming champion.
Ah, fair enough. We all gotta make our dough. So is the Crimson Crippler gonna...
Cripple you?
You know, does he actually Crimson Cripple people?
Probably.
No, of course not. It's just a stage thing. But, you know, it's sure to be quite a show. He does have a bit of a reputation for dropping people on their heads, but you must work with these characters when you're making your bones.
Fair enough. Well, drink your milk, strengthen your noggin. I clonk him on the head a couple of times.
I will.
So I'm assuming
Yes,
we're going
I
to see
will.
him get
And
horribly
soon, Pablo the
unpersoned sometime in this
Mysterious
episode.
will become the most renowned luchador in all of Norfolk. Until then, though, I will have to settle on losing to the Crimson Crippler and wishing you good luck from afar.
Wait, he's settling on losing already, which means he's the heel? Was not expecting that, but okay.
As you rise to your feet, you finish your conversation with Pablo, mostly here in the dim corners of the mouse pad, the chill brick-and-mortar internet cafe where your studio, Dying Dream Studio, calls their home base. Along the walls are murals and framed pieces of poems,
Wait. They can afford a studio? Oh, they probably mean a studio apartment. That makes more sense.
photographs of Pablo the Mysterious being put into various chokeholds and submission holds, and you know, all the many, many times he's lost on the local scene. You happen upon this, your place of creative power. And do you have any intentions on doing anything before you head out to the big...
Okay, I'm just going to throw it out there right now. This background image they have of the graffiti on the wall and the old block TV, or not even TVs, they're freaking monitors that you drop on someone and they lose a foot. I'm getting so much early 2000s, late 90s computer class nostalgia. Yeah, they were trying to teach us how to type on typewriters at the time, but they had recently upgraded to PCs after one of the rich people in the area who didn't live in the rich neighborhood next door decided that they didn't like the neighbors' kids talking about how fancy their new Apple computers were, so they got a bunch of Windows things to make up for it because they weren't that rich. Yeah. I'm not sure if that was entirely true or not, but it's the story I heard at the time, and I'm going to run with it.
big exhibition tonight.
Before the exhibition, I'm gonna double check the game that I made, just making sure that it's running, we haven't gotten any crashes, that everything is ready to be projected on the exhibit.
Sure. Why don't you go ahead and describe your computer and
Which
your
game did they make?
Sure. Sybil's computer is kind of a big clunky thing, probably at least a few years out of date by current year. It's 04, right?
Sorry, that's everything about this is going to be a giant pile of, oh wow, that's old tech for me. I am almost wondering though if Sybil's going to be the designer of one of the games, that one of the previous audio shorts between Marcus and Kitten involved. That'd be hilarious if it was.
06.
Yeah, so it is a computer,
I was a
probably from
junior
04.
in high school at that year.
And it is
had to be a
loaded up
sophomore.
with mostly just rudimentary game dev software and folders and folders of gigabytes worth of weird images unearthed from the internet.
What? Weren't gigabytes actually a very large file size at the time here? Oh, so she really does a lot.
Of dubiously legal status, but all very artistically inspiring. Her game,
Just don't copy the
called
mouse.
The Dream of a Face You've Never Seen, is a pretty simple thing. On her computer, it loads up as just this first-person walking simulator, as the term I don't think has been coined by 06. This low poly, hazy city dreamscape where indistinct figures move through the fog.
Oh, she's literally describing that dreamscape she was in to start with. Okay.
Walking toward a player who meanders through an endless winding street.
Very nice. Pablo looks over your shoulder. Well, boss, I can tell you for sure. I certainly wouldn't want to live there.
You wouldn't? Why not?
Because there's nothing to do. It's just a long, winding street with strange, mysterious figures.
Inspired by Desert Bus, or was it Desert Bus Simulator? I honestly don't remember the name of it, but it's basically a game where you drive a straight line in the desert. I think Penn and Teller played it for charity every year for a long time, but I don't actually remember if that was one time or multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, it's more meant to be like a dream experience rather than somewhere you're supposed to settle down.
Exactly my point. It's why it's so impressive, boss.
Oh, well, thank you. It's supposed to be a little unsettling, but
I
don't know. Do you think they'll like it?
Oh, you cannot concern yourself with if they like it or they don't like it. You make your heart sing, and then, when you've sung your song, if they boo, get to them. If they cheer, hurrah!
Well, why would he go, if they cheer, hurrah, but boo, death to them? It's a good thing he has very stable opinions. Usually I'm not expecting the mage to be the stable character, but apparently no, the mage is already a stable character by comparison.
Okay.
There, you got it now.
We're yelling.
Yeah.
I guess I mean, I like it. It looks good.
Yeah, there's an entire archive around this, so she's probably going to get into
like
early,
this
but
100 times before, but you know, I really gotta make rent this month.
yeah, that part's not so easy.
What do you think exactly the meaning that you're going for is?
Well, it's about the experience. The actual setup is already built in the exhibition space, so it's more of a component
exhibition
of an
space?
Experiential piece. You see, the subject or participant sits down in a room that should be, dark, quiet, insulated. Thanks again for getting me all those fucking 2x4s, by the way.
2x4s? Oh, to make the dark insulated room. So even though this is being described as a game, this almost sounds like a bit of installation art, which admittedly, considering some of the installation art I've seen, ranges from why are you doing this to, oh, whoa, that's insane. There's a lot of different pieces. Some are amazing, some are stupid, and some are, I'm assuming you can't get away with this in every country because some of the things you're doing right now are probably not safe, but let's do it anyways. This actually sounds kind of fascinating in its own right, if looked at as an installation art piece.
Oh, you're very welcome.
As a game.
And then they're sealed inside. They put on the headphones for the immersive soundscape I made for the game, and then they move forward. It's projected in front of them. It consumes the whole room. A little raw.
Yeah, this is actually a cool art piece right here. But just gonna throw it out there. I'm assuming the soundtrack is something along the lines of Minecraft in the underground for some reason, maybe in a cave. Just sounds like it.
Rothko-esque, and then you move forward into it, and it creates a dreamlike experience. The faces are just indistinct enough to where the viewer could project whoever they thought of onto them. And the idea is they play and they walk and they go forward until they see a face that they believe that they recognize. And they take that name and they write it down on the wall, and hopefully, if they don't tear it down beforehand, at the end of the exhibition, the whole wall will be filled up with names of strangers. And, that's the idea.
Well, that sounds fantastic. I
not a
know
bad
that
option.
I will be writing down many names on your wall.
Like, unironically, that setup is a very functionally good piece of installation art. The only hard part would be probably a dark room with people writing. Because you have some way to turn the light back on, which would probably break the experience prior to that, unless you had like some dim red light giving just enough. And there's a lot of very specific circumstances that are only legal if no one ever decides to inspect it. But it is a really interesting piece of art.
Yes,
I would actually like to see this done in
mood,
person.
miss. It seems like your specialty of encapsulating people's minds into a strange experience. Why, I can't imagine that they'll look past it, especially with the audience participation element.
Yeah.
In the right place, it would
that
actually
is
be
a
good if you get the
key
traffic.
part of conceptualism like this one. Oh, fuck.
Well, I must make one final advisement on you.
Yeah.
My computer just froze a bit. Was it just me, or maybe it was just my screen? Okay. Also, random thing. I do know one art location where they have an entire museum dedicated to installation art. It's up in Pittsburgh. It's the Mattress Factory. What they do is a roving band of different artists come in for entire installations within rooms or parts of rooms. And some of them are really cool. Other of them are really creepy, but they're always very much an experience in their own right. This is a little more engaging, but it's still something that would actually fit really well into that scene.
I must make one final advisement on you.
Yeah.
My advice is, when you leave today, be sure not to make sure any of your scary photographs are poking out, because they have a children's birthday party in the front part of the mouse bed.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I'll cover him up.
What kind of pictures does she
I don't
have?
want any more complaints like last
Specialties. Super creepy. Game development. As a game designer, this is absolutely shit, but as an art piece, I'm still going with this is actually really innovative.
time. Sorry about the trauma at the princess birthday tea party.
I never realized that a child that sweet could spew so much vomit.
Ah, tell me you have not had kids or nieces or been tangentially aware of any of them near you on a plane when they just happen to hit turbulence. International flight from London to Canada. Because I missed a flight. Hit turbulence. The kid was already airsick. The attendants gave me a lot of blankets to put over the seat afterwards. It goes everywhere.
Don't remind me.
Well, anyway, I don't want to make you late, but
Yep.
just understand that as soon as you're done, you can give me a call and I'll come help you break down whatever it is you need, provided I am not hideously injured by the Crimson Crippler.
Yeah, don't get crimson
This isn't even foreshadowing at this point.
crippled.
I-
What time's
He
your
did.
fight? Is it the
Like, he's just going to be a floating
last
head at
one,
this
the
one, isn't
title?
he?
Oh, no. No, I've a while yet before I get a title shot. This is more a exhibition match.
Jobber indeed.
Specifically a squash match, but...
Squash?
You know,
Oh, he's getting
You
squashed.
must suffer these indignities. At
Word.
first. It reminds me of my slam poem. Would you want to hear it before you head out?
You know what, Pablo? I would want nothing more than to hear your slam poem. Lay it on me.
Okay.
Okay, how much of this was Sybil, Todoroki, just calling Speaker Dion and forcing him to improvise an entire slam poem on the spot? Granted, with this guy's character, it can be as bad as he wants.
Oh, you must prepare yourself.
I'm girding my loins.
All right. I'm the champion, but not yet. The technical legend, but not yet. I'm the master of chair shots, tape spots. I cut a promo like no other, and there on my waist hangs every title. These things are coming. They're coming. They're coming. I just have to reach, so I reach. Empty. I'm not the champion yet. But I am the champion. Just not yet.
Shit. If that was actually improv on the spot, goddamn, Speaker D. It's not the best poem I've ever heard, but also I've heard a lot worse poem like the ones I tried to write, which will never see the light of day.
Hey, that was pretty good. I'm good.
Yeah?
You really think so?
Hell yeah, that's gonna be a fucking hit at the next slam poetry thing.
Eh.
I know.
Not
I
bad,
can't
though.
wait. Dozens of people will be there.
Dozens? Wow, that's a dozen more than last time.
I know.
I mean, it's a joke here, but frankly, some poetry, if you're not in an area that has a good scene for it, any is more than might show up to some events.
Ever since we started going to these slam poetry meetings, I admit I never had much faith in them, but once again we have proven
The
our
poet luchador.
ingenuity. Why, we've been able to
Luchador?
quantify our
What?
attendance rates by over
Poedor?
200%. That matters for something in my book.
Word. Alright, well, you probably should go prepare for your match, and if I wrap up early, maybe I can catch the tail end of it.
Oh, that sounds magnificent. I hope to see you in the crowd. I will be sure to make sure you get a sight of my good side before.
This isn't even foreshadowing at this point. It's just highlighting the death flags that if we're lucky, he'll only be dead. Okay, so at some point within the rest of this runtime, it will involve this guy getting horribly mutilated. Good to know!
They tumble me into a flaming table.
Aw, Pablo, every side's your good side.
Oh,
Okay,
gives
they're
you
sweet.
A hug, and with his strong.
How is Sybil the
chiseled
cutest and most
form,
disturbing character I've ever seen?
And at once, you are left to begin preparation for the exhibition tonight.
And this is where I need to cut this one because we're literally at the 5-hour mark. So my camera will die any second now because it always does. I have mixed feelings about this one. I love Sybil as a character so far. I love the characterization. I love getting in, seeing everything going on, seeing their development. And admittedly, even though Bill Morgan's design it's a guy who's got nothing going for him and everything's falling apart. Sybil, the same thing. Everything's kind of falling apart on them. They're an outsider. But the description they were using is actually really neat. So I love their characterization. I love what's going on. I love how they are by far the absolute most grotesque giant pile of what the fuck I have ever heard. But they're also such a sweet, caring character so far who's actually showing engagement in other people, where Bill was just kind of gruff, but also really into his hobbies. Sybil is just taking time to really appreciate the people she's with while being absolutely creepy in the creepiest way possible. Oh gosh, she's going full Netrix. Oh. Yeah, that suddenly makes sense. Ah. No one can ever get her Netrix to make character art for this. That would be dangerous. Oh dear God, it would be dangerous. Oh shit. So yeah, if you haven't already, there's a link below. Hit it up. I'll see you guys in the next one, which I will make sure to bring a barf bag for if this is more of a thing with that opening. Oh God.